Good morning, student. I am going to discuss the major important topic for the UPSC, and this is the important for the UPSC mains examination. Actually, today I have to discuss why the Indian movement or the Indian independence, Indian struggle for the independence is known as the Indian national movement, whereas the American War of Independence is known as the American Revolution. So this is the major confusing topic. So now I am going to discuss these points. Okay. So now why the first point is why. Okay. Why Indian struggle for independence is known as Indian national movement, while American War of Independence is known as American Revolution. Okay. So the first I have to discuss what do you mean by the revolution? Revolution means the sudden changes in the societies through the movement. Means revolution means what? Means the sudden changes um, in the societies through the movement. In the American Revolution, the first major thing, only a certain group of the peoples were involved in this movement in American War of Independence. Means only the people of the 13 economic colonies, they fought battle against the British colonial government, and their time period is also very short. Time period 1776 to 83. This was the only time period. when the American Revolution were formed. Whereas in the War of Independence, Indian War of Independence, so now I have to discuss okay, what was the feature of the Indian War of Independence, and that is why the Indian independence movement or the Indian War of Independence, why it is known as the Indian national movement. Because in this movement, the every section of the peoples, every section of the peoples were involved in this movement, in this movement. That is the point number one. And next, the longer time of the period, uh, from 1885 to the 1947, and they found uh, not only for the for political independence, but the social and economic independence also. Like Indian War of Independence now divided into the four important phases. The first, the early age, 1885 to 1905. This was the time period of the moderate leaders, and from 1905 to the 1919, this is the phase of the extremist era, and from 1919, or you can say 1911 to 1931, this was the time period of the revolutionaries era, and from 1919 to 1947, this was the time period of the Gandhian era. Along with that, in the Indian War of Independence, the Indian War of Independence, all the nationalist leaders, all the leaders adopted the different mode of this movement. Means they follow liberal attitudes, they follow non-violence ideology, follow violence ideology, revolutionaries ideology, and also when the Gandhi came, he started the Satyagraha. Satyagraha means non-violence and the truth. Along with that, In this movement, this is the phase number one, phase number two, phase number three, phase number four, and also the peasants and the tribals plus the women's also play the major role. So, due to this reason, the Indian War of Independence is known as the national movement, and all these groups who were involved in this movement, they have the common objectives. They fought for the common objective. They wanted the independence from the British colonial rule. That is the major objectives. So, due to this reason, Indian War of Independence, you can say this is the national movement, whereas the American War of Independence was only known as the American Revolution, because after getting independence, because in 1776 to 83, the in the American Revolution, after getting independence, they did some political changes in the societies, in the societies, and they formed the United States of America. So that is the reason why the American War of Independence or the French War of the Independence are known as the only revolution, whereas the Indian War of Independence is known as the Indian independence or the Indian national movement. So these are the major facts. So this is the most important confusing topics, and I have discussed why the American War of Independence is known as the American Revolution, French War of Independence is known as the French Revolution, whereas in the Indian War of Independence are the known as the Indian Independence or the Indian National Movement. Okay, thank you. So this was the topic. Now I have completed, and now I am going to discuss what is the phases of this national movement. So the first phase I am going to discuss. Okay, thank you. This point is now completed. Okay, thank you.